Hello and welcome to another Monster Hunter Rise video. This time I'll be showcasing the lance. Do bear in mind that this is not a tutorial, it's just a video to showcase the gameplay style of the weapon. So I have to say that the lance is one of my favorite weapons in the game. It's just a shame that in Monster Hunter World it's actually one of the least used according to the stats. So to start with the attacks, basically triple X pretty much does a triple poke combo. You can do the same thing with A, 1, 2, and 3. And normally you want to do these attacks like 3 times at a time, if that makes sense. You can also combine them, so you can do X, A, X. So you can pretty much interchange the attacks that you're doing. Do bear in mind, if this is like any other Monster Hunter game, your X moves are less powerful than your A moves. So actually, using A is preferable if you can to using X. So one of the good things about the lance, it's also a defensive weapon. So pressing the right trigger in A performs a counter. So if the monster actually attacks and hits your shield, you automatically attack. There's also a strong counter, which is you can pretty much hold the right trigger, press A and then B, which will drain your stamina. But this allows you to block most attacks in the game, so it's a really good defense tool. Do bear in mind that if you get hit by the monster, you have to activate the counter manually, so you have to press A or X to actually counter manually. Also, a good tool to close distances with a monster as well. You can press R, X, and A, and it does the sprint right here. And you can wait until the fast version of the sprint. And if you actually press up B, you can actually perform a jump and an attack. So in Monster Hunter World, this used to be like a very good tool to actually mount monsters. So let's try and showcase it now. Actually, I didn't press up, so do remember to press up, or else you're going to be failing like this time right here. Let's try it now. There you go. So that was it. Also, last but not least, you can also use pretty much up or an X to kind of like do this kind of like rush attack. And you can combine this with a shield bash, so this does do KO damage, so it's a good move if you're trying to close distances with a monster, but the monster is not too far away. So in terms of silk bind moves, you can press the left trigger in A, which basically does a counter, and this boosts your attack. So this is similar to the Hunter art in Generations, the Enraged Guard move. But it seems that the buff that you get doesn't last for very long. Hopefully, I'm really hoping that Capcom actually changes this and gives you a more reasonable buff, because you're spending one wire bug after all. And looking at other wire bug buffs like this, I think this should be buffed in my opinion. And the left trigger plus X, pretty much it jabs a kunai. Actually, I just need to wait a little bit for the cooldown. Let's see if it does it. So there you go, it jabs a kunai, and if you hit the monster for a certain amount of time, pressing the L trigger plus B pretty much like propels you against the monster again. So then again, this is like also a very good tool to close distance with a monster. So let's go ahead and hunt the Great Izuchi. Bear in mind that I won't be using endemic life or the mounting mechanic in this video, since I want to showcase the gameplay style of the weapon. There he is. Should be a little bit closer, but there you go. Let's start. Okay, should have counted that. So I have to say that there has been different styles of using the lance. I don't know if evade lancing was actually popular in Monster Hunter World. I actually have no idea. So there you go, that was a counter. And there's like guard lancing. I call it counter lancing because for me the whole purpose of guard lancing is just using the counters. And for me it's incredibly satisfying. Because it kind of reminds me of the times when I used to play Smash. Because I normally use the Fire Emblem characters because you had the counter as well, down B. And this like kind of reminds me of that. And it's so satisfying too, there you go. just land like a counter and then hitting back the monster. It's so satisfying. And this is one of the reasons I cannot understand why people kind of shy away from the lance. I kind of get it, because basically what you need, basically your philosophy with hunting a monster is different from most weapons, because it kind of feels like you have to be like 1 second ahead from the monster, so you can predict the movements and land the counters that you need, or either that or actually determine like what spacing you need as well. So that must be one of the reasons. However, when it comes to beginners, I wouldn't really recommend using the lance, because it can be at first it's like one of those weapons. It might feel clunky if you're coming from other weapons, and that really like turns people off. And that might be the case for beginners, because if they cannot kind of like I said, if you cannot be like 1 second ahead of the monster, you normally can do that if you know the monster's patterns. You're going to struggle a little bit. I'll just try to avoid that one. So that is it. If you're a veteran and you're coming from the lance and you want to change, obviously the gun lance is probably the weapon I would recommend, because even though like the moves are slightly different, there are quite a bit differences, but kind of like the philosophy is the same. You kind of have to be, like I said, 1 second ahead of the monster. And I have to say, like, if you're one of those people that have been playing Monster Hunter for years and you haven't tried the lance in Monster Hunter World, you should definitely give it a go on Monster Hunter Rise, because they made it so much more fluid than the previous games. I only started playing lance in Monster Hunter World because they improved the weapon so much in terms of fluidity that I absolutely love it now. And that is it. And that is it. That was quite quick actually. So I need to stress again, like, because the lance is underrepresented right now, I'm really asking you to try it out in this game. It will definitely be worth it. Especially if you haven't tried it since World, definitely have it a go right now. When I played World, I did face Nergigante and the Basil Goose with the lance, and I absolutely loved it. It's still like in my memories. So please give the lance a go. Don't try just don't try it like first and you don't like it. But no, just give it like some time, a couple of hours, 3 hours to get used to it. Because it's such a fun weapon. Just there you go. Just give it a go. So that is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. This was License to Skill. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notification on my next video. So that was it. Thank you very much. Peace.